Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make a cute little shaker element that you can use on your projects or on cards. So what we're going to use today are the supplies I have here. So I am doing this as part of a project for the Photobella design team. So I'm using the Simple Stories layered frames from the My Valentine collection. It comes with 6 frames. I've already selected the one that I'm going to use, so I'm going to set the package aside, and this is the one I'll be using. So it's a chipboard frame. It already has a cutout. I've already measured it, so I need my actual shaker piece to be a little tiny bit larger than the cutout but smaller than the frame. So what I'm using here is a piece of plastic cut from a page protector from a 12 by 12 album. So you can buy these as, the refillable inserts that you get, or you can also use acetate sheets or even packaging that you get from some things that you buy in the craft store. I've already cut mine down to 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. It has a seam along the one side, and we're gonna make the other ones into a pocket in just a minute, but it will fit directly on top of this, so you will be able to not see the edges. It'll be hidden behind the frame when it's on the back of it. Also for this project, you will need some double-sided tape. I have 1/4 inch here. You can also use 1/8 of an inch if you want a thinner line. I have some different elements to place in my shaker card. So in my design team package, I got some of these really fun sparklets embellishments that are Valentine themed. So I'm going to use a couple of these. And then I've got some of these other sparklets. They're more 3-dimensional rhinestone type hearts. So I might use a few of those. And then because it is Valentine's, I want to add a little bit more red. So I just have some plain sequins here. And then I'm going to add a few plain of these baby pink sequins that I have in my stash as well, just to be able to have it match my frame here. You can add beads to your frames, or you can add lots of other elements, just depending on what you want. So these are all the products that you will need to make your shaker element. So go ahead and grab your supplies and follow along. The first thing that we want to do is make the actual pocket for our little items to go in. So I have my page protector here. If you have a fuse tool, you can actually fuse all of these sides closed. And I do have a fuse tool, but for people who don't have the tool, you can still make shaker elements. So what we are going to do is we're going to take our double-sided tape, and we are going to place a strip on 2 of these sides. And actually, we're going to place it on all 3 of the sides. So you can place it now. We're just not going to remove the backing off of all of the sides. So I'm going to add my tape, and I'll be back in just a minute. Now that I have my tape on all 3 sides, I'm going to go ahead and just remove this first strip, and then I'm going to stick those 2 together, and then I'm going to show you how to remove the other 2 to start to make the pocket. So what I like to do is I have a little piercing tool that I use just to help me start to peel this back. And I'm just gonna peel a little piece back first and stick the corner out to the side. And what I'm gonna do is make sure that this lines up nice and straight. So I'm just going to do that one little piece to start, and then I'm gonna make sure everything is flat because I don't want there to be any wrinkles. So I'm going to smooth it out. I'm going to hold this side pretty tightly, and then I'm just going to pull this piece of tape. And what's going to happen, the backing will come off, but the tape will be there and the layers won't have moved. So now we have one side, and it doesn't matter that you can see the tape because it's going to be hidden behind this frame. So you won't even see that that is there. We're going to leave the top part, and I'm going to do the same thing with this side. So I'm going to start again down here at the bottom. Remove a little corner first, and then making sure that it's flat the entire way, pulling that piece of tape and smoothing it down. So now I have my pocket with the opening at the top, and the other 3 sides are enclosed, so I can go ahead and add my shaker elements next. So I've added all of my elements to the shaker. You can add as many or as few pieces as you want, but I'm not going to put a lot because I do want to be able to see through this, because this is going to be on the front of a card, so I want to be able to actually see the image in the back. So I don't have a lot. There's plenty of room in here, but when I shake it, will definitely be able to shake and move around. So now that I have all of my different pieces, it's time to seal this. So we're going to take my piercing tool and I'm going to pull the backing tape off, again starting in one corner, sticking that down, making sure everything is nice and smooth here. I want to have a little bit of room here for everything to move. Then I want to pull this and lay this flat. I'm going to go ahead and make sure all of the sides are nice and sealed. And then now everything should stay in here, but it should be able to move around. So that's the first part of the shaker element. The second part is to place it on the frame. So what we're going to do is we're going to use more double-sided tape. We're going to tape all around the frame here, and then we're going to place this on here. So I'll be back with my double-sided tape when it's done. Now that I have my double-sided tape on, I'm going to do the same thing as we did when we were making the shaker packet. I'm going to start with one piece. This time I'm just going to start with this top piece up here. I'm going to remove the backing strip. But this time I'm going to remove the entire piece. This is the top of my frame. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to make sure that my seam from my pocket, the natural seam, is at the bottom. So I'm going to take the top of this and I'm going to turn this around because it's just easier for me to work closer to me. And I am going to start by laying this on the pieces that are not glued to make sure that it is in the center of the pieces. And then once I have it centered, I'm going to press down on that top part where the double-sided tape has the backing removed so that it sticks there. So now you'll see it is attached to the top part, and then we're going to do the same thing with the sides and the bottom. I'm going to start with the bottom piece, making sure it's laying flat and pressing it down. Then I'm just going to go in here, I'm going to hold each of the sides on the tips and remove the backing tape. Make sure to press it down so that it adheres really well. And repeat with the last side. And now we have our shaker frame. So I hope you found that tutorial helpful. You can use this with any of your projects and you can really create a fun little element for your cards or any mixed media projects that you're doing. Thank you for watching.